Another month has come and gone, and now we're in the home stretch and the closing weeks of 2023. Hi, and welcome to another Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees, inviting you in for the next half hour. We go through the past 7 days of stories covered by the Fox 54 news team. This week, our most recent top teacher nominee is a music teacher with an obvious spirit and enthusiasm for the arts. We'll speak more with John Onder. We'll give you a front row seat to the newest development coming to Huntsville, and specifically, it'll give residents a new living option just a stone's throw from the Von Braun Center. A Huntsville City Councilman details that plan. And there's something called safe haven boxes, and they have been a legal and safe way for a woman who has recently given birth to surrender guardianship of their baby. But only this year have they been legal in Alabama. And this week, the first in our region went into effect. We'll tell you more about it. But we will start with the latest in the saga of Alabama's upstart medical cannabis industry. This year, businesses were supposed to obtain licenses to operate in the state, but that hasn't happened after a series of false starts. This week, the state commission tasked with issuing those licenses hopes the third time's the charm.
Oh, it was definitely due to the litigations.
After a settlement announced earlier today, the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission is going back to the drawing board as scores to rank applicants in the application process are being tossed out.
It was definitely made to really try to come to terms and to make all of the applicants that feel like they weren't heard or that they needed to be heard more in the application. It definitely was a compromise that we were able to come through.
The litigation came due to a third-party grading system that applicants believe wasn't fair.
We kind of saw it coming. Now, the way that it had taken shape, if you're trying to do something right for the people and maybe trying to do, maybe there's an underlying current here where you're trying to get the medication to the people faster and you feel like your product is a lot more quality than the other guys that have been chosen. I'm all about that. Let's get going. And I'm all about helping anyone that really does want to make a difference here in Alabama.
Garrigan says the ongoing application process is putting a stall on getting to the next phase.
Right now, what we need is we have to have licensees and we have to have patients and the doctors. And those are the things that I have been working on are the patients and the doctors, because that's an entirely different phase. We've got people in certain areas that are not able to access medical cannabis, nor are they even aware of it. And in order for them to be able to purchase it for any type of health diagnosed condition, they would have to apply through the commission. In a lot of areas here in the state of Alabama, they don't have internet access. So there's a lot of work that's going to have to go into after these guys get their license.
Garrigan also wants to tell those who may get denied not to panic.
Please don't take this personal. This whole process and how we've gotten here has been a challenge. We're all growing up in this together. Just because these licenses have been handed out, that doesn't mean this is the last round of license.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Wednesday will mark 2 months since the officer-involved shooting death of Steve Perkins in Decatur. The community still demanding answers about what exactly happened on the night of September 29th. Mayor Tab Bowling shared he anticipates recommending discipline after getting the determinations and formal statement of the formal charges, which he confirmed is now on his desk. Bowling said hearings on any proposed discipline could begin as soon as next week. This evening, the community had more harsh words for the Decatur Council at its work session.
Our videos is the evidence. I don't know what's taken Aaliyah so long, I don't know, but that's the only evidence there is. And you've gotten a report from the chief that they didn't do things right. That's right. So they need to be fired.
Community activists pledged to keep marching and speaking until the officers involved face consequences in the death of Steve Perkins. Activists demanding reform in Decatur's police department, such as the removal of Chief Pinion by January 15th.
We also call for the removal of not only Chief Todd Pinion by January the 15th, because we understand it's a process, by January 15th, but lieutenants and captains, so we can reorganize and restructure and create a better working environment for our community. That's right.
And community leaders are seeking swift justice in the death of Steve Perkins, even if a few laws have to be changed. Our Ken McCoy spoke with Council Member Hunter Pepper on his stance on Decatur's proposed repossession ordinance.
I understand you all are saying that you're going to change policies and make all of these arrangements down the road. But we need some things changed right now.
It's been 2 months since the death of Steve Perkins, and residents of Decatur are demanding swift change, which includes a change to repossession laws.
This is a request to initiate the process to place into permanent city law the Stephen Clay Perkins ordinance that will make it illegal for any towing company or other such company to make repossession of real, personal, or any other type property between the hours of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
The hope is for this law to prevent cases like what happened with Perkins from happening again. But Councilman Hunter Pepper sees it from a different perspective.
It's not a secret. I own a business in the city of Decatur, and I pay for a business license every year. And every other council member owns a business in the city of Decatur and has to pay business taxes, and they have to purchase business licenses in the city of Decatur. So they understand that whenever you do these things, you want the freedom of being able to own that business.
Pepper is against the inaction of the law, citing that it would affect business operators who are trying to make a living.
Repossessions happen throughout the night. That's not a secret. When this is occurring, they're making money to be able to feed their families. And this is how individuals that do this full time feed their families. I personally think that by us putting in an ordinance like this, we're going to prevent those individuals from feeding their families, as they're not going to be able to operate as long as they would like to throughout the day.
Outside of his stance, Pepper says there is support of the proposed ordinance coming from the council.
We had a specific council member go out to say that he believes that it should be from dusk till dawn, which is 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. And in my personal opinion, that's unacceptable. There has been council members to reach out to the city attorney's office to look at the legality of this ordinance. So that's still being put in place at this time to figure out if there is a legal way for us to be able to do this.
Even though Pepper's choice may not be popular, he understands the frustration.
And it has nothing to do with the isolated incident at hand. This is, again, infringing upon someone's rights. So obviously there's an incident that's regarding the situation that has gotten a lot of individuals upset and angry, and they want something done, but they need to let this process work itself out at this time.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
A leaked email detailing Decatur City Council member Hunter Pepper's opinion to the Steve Perkins investigation published publicly on Facebook this morning. We reached out to Councilman Pepper, and he claims the email was leaked by a city employee. In that email, he wrote that he supports the police in the case and does not support the termination of any involved. He also accused the city council of failing to deliver to citizens and claims they are not following proper and fair due process. We also reached out to Mayor Tab Bowling on that leaked email. Here's his response. In part, quote, he shared, Council member Pepper is certainly free to voice his own opinions and make suggestions as to how he would prefer the city of Decatur proceed related to the policy investigation into the death of Mr. Perkins. However, the city of Decatur will continue to follow the law. The officers involved will have a hearing as they are entitled to under Alabama and federal law, end quote. Now, Mayor Tab Bowling plans to hold his determination hearing on the policy investigation next week. More than 43,000 people support the work that happens on base. Our Jasmine Bird shares the latest on one of the busiest tenants, the FBI.
For some, what happens behind the Redstone Arsenal gates stays behind the Redstone Arsenal gates. However, this morning, the Huntsville-Madison County Chamber held what's called the Redstone Update to bring the community up to speed. FBI Assistant Director Johnny Sharp kicks it off with major projects underway at FBI Redstone.
So you'll see that we currently have 8 major construction projects grouped according to their current phase, some with physical dirt moved, some in design phase, and some in a planning phase.
Of these 8 construction projects, 5 are training venues. That means once they complete construction, even more FBI personnel will head to the Rocket City.
Staying in hotels, eating in our restaurants, and shopping in our stores. Our current marquee project is the Innovation Center, slated to be completed this coming spring.
Other big FBI projects currently underway include Tech Buildings 2 and 3. Also, their warehouse and shipping and receiving expansion, which will further aid the logistics capabilities of FBI.
Lastly, you'll see the Academic Zone and the National Security Intelligence Center of Excellence. The Academic Zone, just as the name implies, will provide graduate-level classroom training and a complementary platform on which to complete advanced research.
The next development is the Innovation Center, which will provide space dedicated to treating cyber threat intelligence, digital forensics, and analytical tool development.
We understand 21st century threats are rapidly changing and evolving, which requires us to not only be well-trained, but better prepared to defeat them. The Innovation Center will be the epicenter of the FBI's technology infrastructure and tool development, centralizing our tech talent and tools in a connected campus environment.
Marshall Space Flight Center Acting Director Joseph Pelfrey also shares new tools and AI to predict where there may be natural disasters.
And this is an example of one of the tools that we have that's available for researchers and other government agencies that's updated daily with different layers of what you can see from the Earth imagery data.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
All right, well, check this out. East Limestone High School senior Garrett Waters had community in mind for his Eagle Scout project. Waters led a team of Boy Scouts and other volunteers to build 7 benches for the East Limestone area, and they are beautiful. 2 volunteer fire stations, some local schools, and the church where Waters' troop held meetings over the last 12 years are all getting a bench.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
This next educator we're about to meet teaches music to inspire his students. In fact, he thinks it's the best subject ever. But all jokes aside, music is what helps light up his students' day, teaching pre-K to middle school. Meet this week's top teacher from Holy Spirit Regional Catholic School, John Onder. For teacher John Onder.
1, 2, you know what to do. Stomp, gobble, gobble, stomp, gobble, gobble, stomp. Pack, gobble, gobble, pack. Music is just so important to me, and it's so important to just, I think, our culture.
It's part of the very culture at Holy Spirit Regional Catholic School. His love for music began as a traveling guitarist, but music took on another form after.
My daughter being born. She said her first words when I was in Michigan. And it crushed me because she was here in Huntsville and I missed it.
His band group is now here. It's the children he's taught for more than 2 decades. Onder even manages to squeeze in learning lessons with children during lunch.
Ever since I've been here for 24 years, during their lunch, they'll come in here and eat, and in between bites, we practice, and the ones who really just love it, I just try to take them to another level.
Just ask his singing buddy, Principal Vince Aquila.
He is a professional musician, one of the finest guitarists you're ever going to see. He has the ability to bring out that musical gift in other people, and that's really, I think, the heart of who he is.
It's the heart of who he is because it's his life.
Music is life. If you listen to the lyrics of these songs, or if you listen to the lyrics of these songs that we sing at church, that's what everything's based on.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Onder. Get this, he and his students are preparing for a Christmas concert next week, wishing them all the best. Learn more about Mr. Onder and nominated teacher at fox54.com. And Madison County school system is taking student safety to the next level by adding another layer of protection. The school district is installing 30 new portable weapon detection systems this week. The school district and its security team has been researching ways to detect weapons at their doors and admission gates over the last year, and leaders say this $800,000 installation is the answer. The 2 freestanding pillars quickly screen people with bags, backpacks, and purses, and it's all designed to detect metal objects that match pre-programmed characteristics.
We've visited different campuses, different schools around the area who have different types of weapon detection systems. This particular unit, the open gate weapons detection system, what we love about it, it's portable. So we have them set up in the mornings for our car riders and our bus riders. And then if there's a basketball game that night, we can move it out so we can utilize it for a basketball game.
Pretty neat. Well, the school district says they've spent about 3.5 weeks working on procedures, errors, and protocols to make this transition as smooth as possible for students.
Airport, essentially what we are dubbed as, is the gateway to North Alabama.
Alabama's place in the aerospace and aviation industry is hard to go unnoticed, especially in North Alabama and places like Pryor Field.
We really complement what Huntsville does, and we really add value from an economic development standpoint to the great state of Alabama, specifically North Alabama.
But there are challenges.
We are kind of in what I'll say is the age of economic development here at Pryorfield. We currently have 57 hangars total at Pryorfield. We've got a wait list that is what seems to be as long as our runway, wanting to move here, and we don't have space for them. Funding is obviously a crucial part of our infrastructure,
which on a state level can be hard to come by.
We're very fortunate here in the state of Alabama. We don't have as many funds available through the state system as our neighboring states. So we only have, this is a kind of a record number, in my opinion. We have about $8 million dedicated to 74 airports across the state of Alabama. It doesn't go very far when, my project on the Northwest is 2.6 million.
And while there are gaps in state funding, Fox shares there is support for the industry.
We've got great partners at LDOT, the Aeronautics Bureau, that do a fantastic job, and they support all the growth that we have around the state. Obviously, that 8 million is derived specifically from state funds, so it's not including these FAA dollars that we're talking about today with the AIG grant.
And those funds will help offset costs and keep projects going.
We're very thankful for all those grants that we do receive. I strongly believe Alabama starts with an A because we are aviation aerospace. We have tremendous growth coming to the great state of Alabama, and there's going to be a lot more to come.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
There's a lot to see and do around the BBC, and soon many people will have a new housing option to choose from there. Our Ken McCoy has the story on this new mixed-use community.
I think it's going to be a good thing for downtown. The developer, I think, has got a great plan of action, and the city is very supportive of it.
Front Row, a new $37 million mixed-use development, is set to break ground early next year, bringing more amenities and living options to downtown.
Essentially, it's going to be a full-service hotel that's going to be located within walking distance of the Civic Center. Additionally, there's going to be apartments, shopping, affordable housing, and I think it'll really take that big barren area off of Clinton Avenue and just make it into a showpiece for downtown.
Adding more affordable housing options has been a goal for the city as it continues to grow.
The city certainly is very supportive of the concept of affordable housing downtown because we've had a housing boom and a lot of people are just finding that they can't find apartment rents that are reasonable, and this will be something that will be great. People who normally find that they would have to live out of town will now find that there'll be affordable housing right in the heart of the city.
I asked Councilman Kling how he felt about the modernization of downtown. He shared it's all about balance.
Well, there's a balance. We certainly like the modernization. We like having great amenities downtown. A couple of the coffee shops really are big draws from what I've been hearing and the ones I've been at. Additionally, there's nightlife that we didn't have in the past. And these are all great things, but we want to balance them, like making sure that the live entertainment noise is not too loud where it's going to boom the residential areas. Also, traffic congestion can sometimes be a problem, and we want to make sure we're putting proper resources into our neighborhoods for amenities such as keeping our streets up, and I think there's a good balance that's been going on in city government, and I like the plan of action.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Our preference is that they never be used.
Madison Community Risk Reduction and Public Information Officer Dan Pickens is referring to the Safe Haven Baby Box.
So if a person decides that they want to surrender their child anonymously, they will come to our box, which will be mounted, and open up the box and place their infant in the box.
And once the person has shut the door
is locked. It can no longer be accessed from the outside.
Once the child is placed in the box, Madison Fire Station 1 dispatch is notified through an electronic system silent alarm that the box has been utilized. And from there,
so once the door has been secured and we're notified, this is our access point for the fire department. We open the door, and that allows us access to the child on the inside and be able to remove the child safely and to give the child an assessment to make sure that it's healthy and nothing is wrong.
if there are life threats found,
we will treat those life threats immediately and transport to Madison Emergency Room.
At that point,
Kids to Love comes in and takes possession of the child, and it is placed for adoption pretty quickly in the process.
And although it's the fire station's preference that these boxes never be used, Pickens says this option gives a child a chance at life.
We would rather them do something like this than choose abortion or to throw the child away.
Now, once this Safe Haven baby box is installed right here at Madison Fire Station 1, this will be the first Safe Haven baby box in North Alabama. Reporting in Madison, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
A nuclear emergency is something no one wants to think about, but for people at the Browns Ferry nuclear power plant, planning in advance is important, and they've got a way to help you plan too. Our Jasmine Bird has more.
Each year, TVA provides a calendar, and we send it to about 40,000 people within 10 miles of the plant.
Scott Fielder is with TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority. The Browns Ferry nuclear plant runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The plant is located about 5 miles south of Athens.
That provides information on what to do in the event of an emergency, evacuation routes, pairing schools to go and pick up your student in case there is an emergency. It also includes a card that you should fill out and send in if you need additional assistance in case of an evacuation. That way, emergency responders can get to you in a timely manner.
There's also information about how a nuclear power plant works. And TVA isn't the only agency that wants you to plan ahead. Gregory Robinson with the Alabama Emergency Management Agency has these tips.
During the event is not really the time to put together a plan or even communicate a plan to individuals that you may have stewardship over. It's very important to create that plan before an event happens. That way you'll know what the requirements are, where you need to get your information from, how you'll communicate with people who you need to communicate with, what it is that you need to put in what we call a go bag, like the flashlights or the batteries or other things that you need in order to respond to any type of disaster that happens here in the state.
And finally,
if there is a nuclear event at the Browns Ferry nuclear plant, the most important thing is to tune into a trusted news source like FOX54. They'll be providing information directly from TVA and state officials. So that is the most important thing that you can do to keep your family safe.
For more information, just head over to fox54.com. Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Hey everyone, signing ceremonies continuing today. We'll start off in the afternoon at Bob Jones, where 3 Patriots from the state runner-up volleyball team putting the pen to the paper. Eliza Tyrell, Rachel Mecklenburg, and Meg Jarrett are all college bound as they are all staying in state. Tyrell is going to Montevallo, Mecklenburg is going to Wallace State, and Jarrett is going to UAB. They're part of a senior class that won over 100 matches during their career. And upstairs in Patriot Hall, another member of the baseball team is college bound. Utility man Gresham Baker can play all over the field, and head coach Jared Smith commended him for his willingness to do so. He talked to us about what made Bevel State the right place for him.
It really just is a laid-back place, just fun, really just a good fit for me to continue my academic career. Campus, the coaching, just what me and my family decided. Really providing all the tools, all the help and support that we need. It's really great.
Off to Huntsville High School now, where Coach Blake Borden saw 8 of his track and cross-country runners signing national letters of intent. Let's run down them real quick. Sarah Cobb to Syracuse, Kyla Sisolak to South Alabama, Mackenzie Toms to Florida Southern, Ethan Brinkley to Tennessee at Martin, Carter Duncan is going to Lee University, Jake Harper to the University of Montevallo, Ian Spalding going to Calhoun Community College, and Jax Wilk is going to Wallace State. Here's head coach Blake Borden on the accomplishments.
Concrete as of about 2 months ago for some of these athletes. They literally signed or committed about a month ago because of the progression that they made as seniors. The transformations that they made as seniors.
When you visit Low Mill, you're welcomed with an abundance of creativity and kindness.
Everyone feels like they can just be whoever they want to be. Of all the places I've lived, I've never had a place like this.
From food, paintings, pottery, candles, leather, you name it.
We have over 200 fragrances for you to choose from.
We're doing the Christmas tree project where people can come in and make
Christmas trees and decorate.
And although these shops contain all different art forms, one thing is the same. They're local.
We've been in the building probably almost 15 years.
We started during COVID, so it was scary, but we made it.
I started with the notebook covers, and I just kind of kept going from there.
We just really enjoy the people that come in here.
Each of these business owners started their shops through their love of the community.
When I was a kid, I spent so many years clinging to my grandma's apron strings in the kitchen, and I saw how much food impacts people, because it makes you feel things. And I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to bring good food to the community and bring happiness to people.
When we started out here, we worked with children. We had classes that came in of people from the community.
We want to share our love of candles with other people and just the joy of making candles and making it custom.
And since then, they've really felt embraced by the Rocket City.
We've got constant regulars that come in almost every day now.
You're helping real people within your community.
So when you shop for holiday gifts this season, consider visiting any one of these artists, whose hard work and passion is displayed right here on the shelves. We'll have more on these local businesses tomorrow night at 9. When it gets to be the holiday season, so many of us spend time wondering what would be a thoughtful present for our friends and family. Well, here at Low Mill Arts and Entertainment in Huntsville, artists from all different backgrounds are eager to share their creativity and unique gifts with the public. Places like Terman's and Turtle Pottery welcome customers to purchase these already made pieces or even create their own.
This is a friendly place. They can come in and they can make things, and that we are open to helping them with any artistic activity that they are interested in. We have a kiln, we have a work area over at the table there, we have a drying booth, we have a painting area.
Or if you're considering getting someone a candle, imagine if you can make your own fragrance concoction. Well, at Embrace Candles, you can.
When you come in, you get to pick your fragrances. We have over 200 fragrances for you to choose from. You get to create your custom scent, and you get to pick your own jar, whatever jars we have available. They're always changing.
And at Gathering Moss Studio, leather crafting is taken out of this world and into a fantasy land.
I do a lot of nature-inspired leathercraft, so that's one of the things I like to do is take a pattern and kind of alter it to be like a little bit fantasy, a little bit nature-oriented. And my leaf handbags are my favorite thing that I do, and so each leaf is completely different.
Oh, and if you're hungry during your shopping, consider stopping by Dragon's Forge Cafe.
All of our drinks that we have are actually based off of these dragon characters that I created. So I'm also an artist as well. And so a lot of the art that you see in our cafe is done by me. It's a very welcoming space.
So when you leave, you may walk away with that perfect gift for a loved one and the understanding that creativity and kindness is all around.
That will wrap things up for this edition of the Fox 54 Weekend Review. Don't forget, we have many more digital-only exclusives on Fox 54 Plus. This includes sports talk shows, current events, even movie reviews and countdown lists. Fox 54 Plus is free and available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. You can also stream us on our website, fox54.com. Until next time, I'm Kenesha Dees. Thanks for watching.